مشكلتنا تكمن في السوريين الذين تعاملوا مع الأجانب، مع الغرب، مع الأمريكيين، مع الأتراك.
باسم مجلس القبائل والعشائر السورية جئنا اليوم نؤيد وندعم بكل ما نملك من قوة دخول الجيش التركي البطل إلى شرق الفرات.
قال المفتي: كل من ينضم لجماعة الإخوان الإرهابية حرام شرعا.
السيسي خلى سمعة مصر في الحضيض.
ظنوا أنهم بالارتماء في أحضان السعودية وأمريكا مسكوا بالحبل الوثيق، تحالفوا مع المجتمع الدولي الذي يمتلك قرار الحسم الأكيد.
أنادي الجيش الوطني وأنادي القبائل وأنادي الأحرار جميعا أن يتحركوا مع التحالف جزاهم الله خير بقيادة الملك سلمان سلمه الله وفقه الله لما يحب ويرضى، وإخوانه من الأشقاء الذين يدعمون المعركة.
في عالم يسوده الاستقطاب والتطرف تصبح مهمتنا بالغة الصعوبة ويصبح ثمن الحقيقة باهظا. من هنا تعمل شبكة إعلاميون من أجل صحافة استقصائية عربية أريج على استمرار صحافة المحاسبة والمسؤولية لخدمة المصلحة العامة. كشفنا في لبنان أن زواج القاصرات لا ينحصر في طائفة واحدة.
أنا ما بدي أعيش معه، أنا بدي أعيش مع أهلي.
وأثبتنا أن تجنيد الأطفال في اليمن هو جرم مشترك بين طرفي النزاع. وفي الفضاء الإلكتروني أبرزنا معاناة النشطاء اليمنيين جراء استهداف حكومتي الشرعية والحوثيين لهم. وثقنا قيام أفراد المعارضة في سوريا بانتهاكات ضد البيئة، وكيف يستخدم النظام السوري المناهج التعليمية في التحريض على المعارضين. سلطنا الضوء على معاناة الأقليات الأيزيدية في العراق، وكيف يعامل أطفال داعش خارج إطار حقوق الإنسان.
سويت تبرئة بالحكومة وسويت تبرئة بالعشائر.
حافظنا على استقلاليتنا وأنتجنا تحقيقات الأريجيين بتمويل شفاف ومستقل دون التدخل في سياساتنا التحريرية. انطلقنا لتقديم المزيد من الدورات التدريبية، وفي عام 2019 عقدنا 12 ورشة تدريب بمشاركة 120 متدربا من 11 بلدا عربيا. وقدمنا لصحفيين لأول مرة منهجا للصحة النفسية عبر الإنترنت. من خلال المنهاج الرقمي للصحافة الاستقصائية للجامعات استطعنا الوصول للمزيد من الطلاب والأساتذة في مختلف الدول العربية. استمر وجود الأريجيين في كبرى المحافل الدولية، وأعيد انتخاب أريج للمرة الثالثة كعضو لمجلس إدارة الشبكة العالمية للصحافة الاستقصائية. واليوم نفخر بكل شركائنا منذ عام 2006 الذين ساهموا معنا في استمرار مهمتنا لنظل سائرين على درب الحقيقة.
مساء الخير. Good evening. I would like to ask you to stand a moment of silence, a minute of silence in solidarity with our colleagues who have died, who have become a victim of their free words, and who have been imprisoned because they were telling the truth to power.
باسم الأريجيين
On behalf of all ARIJians who are participating with us in this forum and ARIJians all over the Arab world and in the diaspora, we're already talking about the diaspora, and on behalf of the board of ARIJ and the secretariat and staff of Amman, I welcome you in Amman. Sunset does not mean that there won't be another sunrise, and ARIJ is our rising sun in the sky, in the dark sky of Arab media. My dears, this is the biggest forum and meeting for Arab investigative journalists, and I ask God to protect us from the connivers, and there are many. We have persevered together and we grew together, a professional collective that is crossing Arab borders, an alliance that digs into the issues that are of concern to society in order to reach the truth and public benefit. ARIJ has become a movement for free investigative journalists who are consecrating the traditions of a free profession and culture of free profession that is called the investigative journalism and accountability. Free ARIJians who refuse to stay in the warm bosom of the authorities, ARIJians who insist to take risks to encourage their societies and their countries to adopt a culture of transparency and good governance that we lack. During the past 14 years, our investigations have revealed, that have been more than 600 in 16 Arab countries, have revealed what is hidden and has moved the stagnant waters with great professionalism that is based on documenting facts and confronting those perpetrators before publishing the investigation. ARIJians have won more than 150 international Arab and local awards, and none of our investigations that were supervised by the ARIJ network were taken to court. My dears, it is our right to exchange, to congratulate each other as we celebrate 13 years of ARIJ in the midst of a burning environment and governments that are constantly working at silencing independent journalists, putting them in prison, and fabricating charges and trying to even demonize them through media campaigns and pressuring their employers. And we have seen that happening in Iraq. They're trying to threaten them. But we know that silencing the media is not just the one challenge. It will lead to an explosion. And we have seen the revolutions in Lebanon, Algeria, Sudan, and the teachers' strike in Jordan is proof that the Arab street is still alive and it is able to rise against injustice and the absence of social justice and humanity. People move because the concept of social justice and human dignity is completely ignored. The basic requirements of life in terms of health services, educational services, infrastructure, and others are not available to the vast majority of people, even the majority of taxpayers. Within these great challenges, the sun of ARIJ shines brightly as a light in a dark tunnel. When we started preparing for this conference, the budget could only cover 150 ARIJians and trainers, but the number of participants now are more than 580 compared to 496 last year and 100 in our first conference in 2008. 34 Arab and international nationalities meet here today. We grow because of the support of tens of supporters and funders, those people with strong hearts who believe that supporting investigative journalism is important regardless of the consequences. We grow because of the belief of the ARIJians, of the message and mission of ARIJ. These developments are extremely important and give an indication to the future of our network and conferences. These institutions are here at the ARIJ conference because this is a rare opportunity to exchange experiences or to meet with journalists that are difficult to reach in their countries because of war. and political conflict. I would like to thank the staff of Amman for working day and night to ensure the success of this conference, and I would like to thank the members of the Executive Committee who managed the work of the network during my absence in a research leave for 9 months, led by Youssef Abu Aoudeh and Tamara Qara'in and Saad Hattar. And I would like to thank the rest of my colleagues in the network, one by one. You are wonderful and you are so brave. During the next couple of days, you will listen to the first Arab investigative podcast for ARIJ in collaboration with South Podcast, our partners. Today, we have launched a promo, which is an example of an online training through the educational IDRAK platform to help Arab journalists to deal with trauma and anxiety, sponsored by Free Press Unlimited. It will be launched on 23rd of December. We have reached this place thanks to more than 600 ARIJians who have conducted several investigative reports that have changed the lives of people to the better. We have reached here thanks to the guidance of the current and past board of directors, due to the passion and commitment of the staff. Also, we'd like to thank the Jordanian government that has facilitated the process of organizing this conference. I'll tell you a secret. With us tonight is Dr. Mohammed Al-Momani, who was the Minister of Media and Information for more than 4 years. He left the government a year and a half ago. Dr. Mohammed, if he wasn't a minister at the time, ARIJ would not have been able to organize any conference. We would not have been able to invite journalists from what we call restricted nationalities. I will also want to say another secret. With us is Dr. Talib Qadi Amin. Dr. Talib Qadi Amin is very dear to our hearts because he was assistant to the Minister of Information, Syrian Minister of Information, and during the good times when ARIJ started working in Syria, and now he heads. I just want to make sure what his title is. I was going to talk about you later, but I'm going to say now. He heads the training center for the Arab League, specializing in TV and radio broadcasts. And the third secret, Dr. Ibrahim Yahour, the father of Bassem Yahour, who's the famous Syrian actor. Mr. Ibrahim Yahour is the first supervisor who worked with us in Syria. We grew up together, right? You're not dyeing your hair, but I am. Thank you for coming. We haven't seen you since 9 years. We missed you. This is the first time since 6 years that we have colleagues from Gaza participating in a conference in 2019. And this conference, we hope to see more of them next year. We have missed you. We have missed your investigative reports. We salute our colleagues in countries of conflict and other countries that have become big open prisons in order to maintain stability. Let us give a warm hand of applause to all ARIJians who are here and who are not here that have come together within this network for 14 years. Yes, we all deserve this round of applause. Dearly beloved, this is the last year that I stand with you here as the Executive Director of ARIJ Network. I leave ARIJ with a very clear conscience due to the achievements that we have made, thanks to the support of everyone who has worked with me to ensure that this network is consolidated. Many of you know that this was not a job for me. It was the mission of my life. It was my home. ARIJ Network will continue with you, and I will stay ARIJian to the bone. I promise you. ARIJ started in 3 Arab countries, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon, in 2005, with a 2-year budget estimated at $250,000 and 1 supporter, 1 funder, IMS. Today, ARIJ is working with you in 16 Arab countries with an annual budget that exceeds $1.5 million. with several funders. We started work with the two ARIJian twins, Yusuf Abu Oude, Hanadi Al-Gharaibi. Are you here with us? Can you please stand up? Hanadi and Yusuf. Yusuf, please don't maintain a low profile. Don't be afraid. We're not going to jinx you. The three of us were working part-time. Yusuf was the accountant, Hanadi was the coordinator, and I was the executive director in an office. Our office was just one room, and we had a toilet without a window. So many times I had to borrow money from my late husband to pay the salaries, waiting for the funds to arrive every 3 months. Today, we have 25 staff members, and we have a basket of diverse funders that are increasing every year, and we have 1 floor and a half and 7 toilets now in our offices. ARIJ was also one of the founders of the GIJN, Global Investigative Journalism Network, 12 years ago. ARIJ is an octopus, is like an octopus of investigative journalism, locally on the Arab front and internationally. My dear brothers and sisters, I say goodbye, but I will remain an ARIJian, as you know. I will stay with you through my new work in Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina, through my new position in charge of investigative reports for the Middle East and North Africa with the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project. This decision is not new. In August 2016, 3 years ago, I informed the board and the funders of ARIJ that I want to leave my position at the end of 2019. Because I do not like to stay in such a position for a very long time, and ARIJ needs new blood for its sustainability to build on what we have already constructed. 2 years ago, I provided the board with a succession plan in ARIJ after finishing my master's degree, in addition to working with ARIJ. It was very exhausting. Based on the recommendations of this succession plan, I was given a research grant research time to do research to develop a plan for ARIJ after 2020. I left ARIJ to be managed without an executive director, but managed by the executive committee to check the system and to figure out what needs to be improved. A few days ago, I handed the board a detailed study about ARIJ, or plan for the next 5 years. We will discuss it in the last session on Sunday at the conclusion of this conference. I hope you will come, because the ideas there will have an impact on you. We don't want to do this on our own. This plan was based on face-to-face interviews with more than 100 Arab and international partners and colleagues, and the review of literature review of 166 similar organizations around the world, and 4 surveys to measure the level of satisfaction of ARIJians with regard to the services of ARIJ during the past 10 years. We will not have ARIJ without ARIJians, and I will support with all my energy anyone who will succeed me. Allow me to call Dr. Yasmin Dabbous Nasser, who is the chairwoman of the board of ARIJ, who worked with the executive committee constantly during my research leave, but she was not paid. It was all pro bono. Thank you very much. Without you, life would have been extremely difficult. Thank you, Rana. Thank you all. Thank you for being with us here today. Thank you for your interest and support for ARIJ and all your efforts to ensure we have a free and independent journalism of accountability that does not fear anyone, that challenges injustice, that does not fear the unjust. 9 years ago, I had just come back from the United States after finishing my PhD dissertation. I was working as a teacher at the Lebanese American University in Beirut. And I remember that the head of department gave to me an invitation to a conference about investigative journalism, a conference, and when the invitation was from Rana Sabbagh. That was the first time I hear about ARIJ. It was 2010. And it was the first time I hear about investigative journalism in the Arab world. And as I said, it was also the first time that I hear about Rana Sabbagh. I could not have known at the time the role that this invitation would play in my life. From 9 years until now, I saw ARIJ grow and develop and fly and change with the changing circumstances, maintaining all the basic principles and the passion and the objective. Behind this great effort, there were hundreds of journalists and editors and trainers and coaches and administrators and staff and funders and partners and friends. But each and every one of us in this room knows and concedes that without this one single person, this Rana Sabbagh, ARIJ would not have been here. Rana, I don't know. I don't know if you are aware of the extent of your achievement. You rewrote the history of journalism and media in the Arab world. You are a cornerstone. It may not be written down in history, but you are a cornerstone. Everybody here knows that you are a cornerstone for a better future and a more just future for the Arab world. I know how happy you were, how tired you were, how much you laughed, you cried, how much you worked tirelessly. You spoke, you wrote, you sacrificed, and you tried several times for ARIJ to succeed. But Rana, your efforts are not gone to waste. Today, we are attending the biggest conference in the history of Arab journalism and the history of ARIJ, and all of that thanks to your efforts and your perseverance. Today, there are hundreds of journalists, both men and women, that are seeking and working for a better future in their countries with your help. Today, there are thousands of families who are safe from fear and harm because you stayed up days and nights, stayed up many nights to follow up the investigative reports from the inception to the last letter, to the last edit. Today is Independence Day in my country, Lebanon, and this is the first time in my life that I feel the true meaning of independence. Today in Lebanon, ARIJians and journalists are playing a crucial role in informing public opinion. Rana, you were, and you still are, and you will continue in the future to be the heart of ARIJ and the heart of ARIJians and in the heart of free and independent journalism and media. Rana, today it is time for you to fly further and to take with you ARIJ and our journalists towards an international scene, international arena. I'm unhappy that you will no longer be the executive director of ARIJ, but I am assured that we will remain one family working with the same love and the same passion, the same concern for truth. I hope that Sarajevo will be a new shining page in your life that will make us all proud. I know that we will be working together, and I am assured that the future, our future, the future of ARIJ and the future of the Arab world will definitely be a better future. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rana. Thank you very much from all my heart. On behalf of the board of ARIJ and on behalf of all the ARIJians, what you have done for us is something we cannot ever describe.
There's a book that we have been working on. Actually, it's an empty book. It's called ARIJians Forever. And on the first page, Rana Sabbagh's picture figures. And the idea behind this book is for anyone who would like to write something for Rana is going to write on that book. We're going to put it on in the registration booth in Reem Hall. That book is available in Reem Hall. Whoever would like to write something to Rana can do so, and she can read it while she's in Sarajevo to remember us forever. Rana, I would like to give you also another token gift.
أنا معودة على التبويس على اللبناني.
In Lebanon, we're so used to giving each other these kisses on the face. Rana would like to share a surprise with you now.
رنا مجتهدة ومثابرة ومصممة، إذا بدها إشي بتوصل له. على الإيميلز فعالة وسريعة بالتواصل، وحافظت على المبدأ. حرية الصحافة وحرية المعلومات عندها كتير مهمة وحقيقية، صحيح دفعت ثمن لكن ضلت على المبدأ.
Rana, you're an inspiration. Your integrity and your courage are truly extraordinary.
أنا بحب برنا إن هي امرأة شاطرة وذكية وفهمانة ولذيذة ومتواضعة وشغيلة. اسم الله عليها.
What I like most about Rana is her ability to get things done.
What I like most about Rana is definitely her humoristic sense and her contagious laughter. And I miss walking down Bliss Street in Hamra with her after training to have a Mary Cream.
صح رح تتركي مكانك بأريج اليوم يا رنا، لكن أريجك رح يضل وين ما كان.
Rana is not only an editor and a mentor and an amazing journalist, she's also my friend, and I appreciate all her work and her friendship.
تعلمت من رنا الكثير عملي معها قبل وأثناء انضمامي لأريج. تعلمت منها الصدق، تعلمت منها تفاني في العمل والكمال في إتقان العمل وحب مساعدة الصحفيين وتطويل الذات من وقت لآخر.
يا رنا أنت إنسانة كثير منيحة ومثالية، أنت أحسن شيء فيك طيبة قلبك وحبك للمساعدة بكل أنواعها وقوتك الإيجابية.
بحب رنا مهنيتها العالية وصدقها في التعامل مع الآخرين وكيف تدعم زملائها وزميلاتها في العمل.
المهنية العالية اللي بتتمتع فيها طريق أريج. شكرا رنا على المصداقية العالية اللي بتمتع فيها طريق أريج، وشكرا رنا على كل شيء صار في أريج من سنة التأسيس لليوم.
I want to thank you for all the hard work that you have been doing, for your professionalism and for your friendship.
بدي أشكر رنا إنها عرفتني على فكرة وأسرة أريج، ودخلت على الأريجيين ودربتهم، وكان هذا إشي كتير ممتع بالنسبة إلي.
There are hundreds and hundreds of people now shining a light into dark places because of the work that you've done.
Think about everything that you have accomplished, all the people in ARIJ that you have been helping become better journalists and get better professional lives. I think there's a lot to pat yourself on the shoulders for.
If it had not been Rana with her attitude, there would be no ARIJ today.
10 سنين مرت من أول مرة بحضر مؤتمر أريج. دائما كنت بشوف رنا بترحب بكل الضيوف الجايين بكل تواضع من على الابواب واحد واحد، بتتنقل بين الطاولات وبتسلم على كل الموجودين.
الحدود هي السماء وضلك زي ما انت.
Maybe to look at what you have done and now relax, enjoy it. Live your life and not the life of ARIJ in the future.
I hope that you can enjoy your time now.
Thank you for 25 years of friendship and good luck. Good luck whatever you do.
Thanks Rana.
Thank you Rana for everything. Thank you.
شكرا رنا.
I like to thank you.
بنحبك يا رنا. شكرا كثير لإلك.
وشكرا رنا على كل شيء.
بحبك كثير يا رنا وشكرا كثير يا رنا.
شكرا جزيلا رنا.
بحبك كثير. شكرا رنا.
بالفترة يلي كانت رنا فيها.
When Rana was away last year from the office, she was collecting data in order to build the new strategy for ARIJ. Three persons took over. And in spite of the fact that their task was very dire, very hard, but they were able to help us to keep ARIJ alive. So can you please give a round of applause to Yusuf Abu Oude, Tamara Qarrain, and Saad Hattar for all their efforts as an executive management during last year in spite of all the difficulties that ARIJ went through.
وهلأ إلى الشخص.
Now let me move on to the person who was chosen by the board to carry the flag and carry on the task. I'm proud to share with you that Rawan Ad-Daman, I'm very proud to tell you that Rawan Ad-Daman who is a very well-known media person and a trainer who is one of the members of the board, is going to be the new executive director of ARIJ. Congratulations, Rawan. In the name of God, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Good evening to all of you. I'm so moved by all the emotions that have been shown here tonight by the ARIJians and the ARIJ family. I would like to thank Rana Sabah, the executive director, and the board, as well as Dr. Yasmin Dabbous, the head of the board, for the confidence. In October 2017, I was training in a training workshop in Beirut, and may God protect Beirut as well as all the Arab capitals. I was in Beirut, and at the same time, Rana Sabah was there, and she was co-training, and we were on the same plane back from Beirut to Amman, and Rana moved her seat and moved on to talk to me over the flight, and she asked me to help out with the training on investigative journalism and investigations, TV investigations. And indeed, I started to work as a trainer. And last year, I met Dr. Yasmin Dabbous for the first time, and she asked me if I would like to join them on the board, and I said yes, why not? If this is going to be a good step forward for ARIJ voluntary work. And I never imagined that flight 2 years ago and the fact that I would become a member of the board would lead to me assuming this new role. ARIJ is a tree that has been grown and very well taken care by Rana and by her team, and that team was able to build up what they have built up, and the strategy that Rana paved for us is going to give us a very solid ground for the coming 5 years. I hope that next year when we meet again, you will also have shown me your confidence, you as ARIJians, present and future ARIJians, and I promise you that all serious ideas are going to be taken into consideration, and no one is going to be excluded. No one who is interested in a serious Arab investigative work away from sensation and glittering lights will have his or her place here in ARIJ. We are bleeding because of what's happening in the Arab world, but we are full of hope that, as Abu al-Qasim al-Shabi said, who is a very Tunisian famous poet, said that if we have hope, then the fate will fulfill our hopes, the hopes of the people. That was our famous poet, and we continue to believe in what he said. Do you know why I did not cry a lot? Because I have fake eyelashes. I cannot dare to cry. I cannot dare to cry. That's why I held back my tears. Rawan, I am sure that we are all behind you. We will be behind you in order to build on what has been achieved. Now we are going to move on to the second segment of this meeting with Riyad Al-Qbaisi. I have chosen Riyad because he represents the spirit of ARIJ and ARIJians. Riyad is ARIJians to the bone. Where are you, Riyad? Are you sleeping? Riyad is a very unique person. He heads the investigative unit of Al Jadid TV. The cables of Al Jadid were cut off yesterday. He heads this investigative unit that was set up 8 years ago with the support of ARIJ. He won many awards with his excellent ARIJian teams that work at that TV. Riyad, your life has come back with the revolution in Lebanon. You have regained your confidence in investigative journalism, in order to know that investigative journalism takes some time before it bears its fruits. Riyad felt so tired in the past. So many times in the past, he would tell me, after working for more than a year on an investigative piece of work, he would tell me, we work for a year and we get so tired, we are dragged through the mud and we are insulted for nothing. Why are we wasting our time? This is what he would be telling me. Riyad, why don't you tell us what happened with you following a revolution, and the fact that you and your picture and the picture of your family and family members were on the social media in order to harass you? Can you tell us your story, Riyad? Come share it with us, please. Good evening to all of you. I think 5 years ago I was here on the podium and I had been awarded the first prize in ARIJ, and I spoke about a very important relationship between the impossible investigation and investigative journalism. I said that it is a very weird relationship because I said that investigative journalism is something impossible to do in the Arab world for a very simple reason. In TV, in order for a person to be able to compete, we are competing with entertainment, and in order for an investigative piece of journalism to compete with Haifa Wahbe, of course we salute Haifa Wahbe because she is with the revolution of the people against corruption. So this is one hardship. The other hardship is that we are part of the changing pattern. In order to achieve the first goal, to compete with entertainment, before we have to win the first step before we move on to the second step, without losing our serious work. So it's not like we are saying that nothing is impossible and that we can do anything. No, when I say that we are going to do the impossible, it means that we consider that the impossible is a set of possibilities. If we want to shift one mountain from one bank of the river to other bank, we need to take it piece by piece, and this requires a lot of patience. In the TV, we have a long history in investigations. When we in combating corruption, particularly when we started to cooperate with ARIJ in 2011, ARIJ was with us, and Rana would always tell us, be patient, the day will come. And during those years, we were always accused of being traitors. We were considered as a part of the Zionist American plot, and that we are being funded by this part or that party. And they have called us all kinds of names, and there were various attempts to burn us with cocktail Molotov, and then there were also direct assaults inside the TV, and they tried to burn the TV stations. And we were subjugated to various pressures in order to keep quiet, to shut up. And now we're telling them, can you hear us? Now we have not been silenced, and the result was what? We have achieved a lot of our goals in order to the impossible, while we were moving that mountain from one bank to the other, piece by piece. We continue to unveil corruption. We continue to work on what we have set for us as goals. Who would believe that investigative journalism is on top of the ratings and that it is part of the system of change in Lebanon? All their attempts to distort our reputation were unfruitful and went were in vain. That does not mean that they have stopped short at doing what they used to do. No, they continued to pressure us. They have cut off the cables, and they are some of the corrupt people from the various parties. They have distributed the pictures of our kids, of my kids, on Facebook and on the social media. And since we have people from Facebook here, maybe they can tell us how we can be protected as journalists, because our platforms are being abused by non-pacifist parties. This is I would not give any other characteristics for those groups. They are distributing my pictures, the pictures of my kids. My mobile numbers were circulated on the various social platforms, and there was no attempt by those platforms to put an end to the use by bots and the electronic flies, the trolls, and that's why it's very important to think of the protection of journalists, because till now Facebook is being used by various groups in order to promote misinformation, and I have sent Rana belatedly some information about us being part of the Zionist American plot and that we are supported by Israel. Please, this is blatant lies, and these lies are not being suppressed, they are not being restrained, they are not being even corrected. Is it possible? Is it possible to allow for this, for Facebook to be used by these electronic flies and trolls to promote misinformation and to be threatened in person? Our safety and our families are being threatened. So let me not go on forever. Let me just repeat what I have said, that there is a relationship between the impossible and investigative journalism. However, we continue to do the impossible regardless of the difficulties. Let us welcome Faris Aqad, who is the head of media partnerships in Facebook and Instagram for MENA, or the Middle East, Africa, and Turkey. We would like to thank him for his patience, because we have so many concerns that we would like to share with him, and maybe he can help us to find solutions to those concerns. Mr. Faris Aqad, good evening to all of you, and peace be upon all of you. Indeed, it is a source of pleasure for me and for Facebook and the Facebook team to be with you here this evening. We are very proud for ARIJ. We are very proud of ARIJ, and we are very grateful for the fact that ARIJ is there. We've been participating in this meeting or in this forum for 3 years now, and Facebook is growing, and the regional team of Facebook is growing. Our regional office is in Dubai. However, we cover all Arab countries, and our representation here, or our delegation, comes from Syria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Palestine, and we as a Facebook team consider that we are ambassadors of Facebook, and the challenges are very unique. Of course, we know that there are revolutions that take place all over the planet. However, the fact that the Arab region has been the focus of most of these events is something that has drawn our attention. That's why the presence of Facebook is important as a platform with very clear and positive objectives for our societies, or for the site is. A platform with 2.8 billion users. In the Middle East, we have around 2 million users a day. The MENA, 200 million users a day. The challenge is really a very big challenge. In spite of all the challenges, we note that most of what is exchanged on the platform is positive. There is a small portion which is negative, but it is covered in the media, and of course we are responsible for it. We cannot say that we are not responsible. We do make mistakes, and we are responsible for the fact that such a platform with such a big impact, we have to be accountable for the repercussions that would result from fabrication of news or bad news or misinformation. So our presence here in ARIJ is part of our efforts to support the positive things that we see on our platform. All our rules and regulations and procedures are there to support the expression of free media, media with integrity. And today we are going to launch some initiatives that we are going to talk about those initiatives that support our efforts. Our presence here is part of Facebook for Journalism, or Facebook Journalism Project, which is an international project.
In this project, we contribute to building society through the news, to build a society that is based on honest journalism. And in many cases, we are donors and we seek to build systems to fight fake news. What my colleague mentioned before me, we consider to be in violation of the aims of the platform. We have taken decisions, much harsher decisions in the past, and we have been subject to pressure from governments and regimes for being in this region. For ultimately, just as some journalists are in danger, governments and many security organs consider us to be a great risk for their very existence. We depend on international laws in order to be able to apply our laws to all. In 2019, we trained some 13,000 journalists in approximately 50 countries. This is part of our Facebook journalism project. It is a personal training through the internet and through the webinar, where some 100,000 people were trained. Regarding this region, we trained approximately 7,000 journalists in the Arab region. This is training for free through our curriculum, and we conducted some 25 workshops. During our presence here at ARIJ Forum, we have a number of workshops. Today we had 2 workshops, one on standards of Facebook. These are the standards that we use to allow some news on Facebook or to delete it. And the standard is not to instigate for violence or subject journalists to danger. The case mentioned by Mr. Riyad is in violation of our standards. Any attempt to pressure journalists through subjecting them to violence or to expose personal information about them is against our standards. We want journalists to be able to keep their freedom and their safety. and to publish the news they want on the platform. Our objectives is to train 10,000 journalists in the Arab world, and we shall do this over the year according to a schedule. And we hope that any person who is interested in this topic will remain in communication with us. And you can use this link, and there will be a team that is based in Ream Hall, and you can talk to them about the workshops, the training, or any questions about Facebook or any of our platforms. For the Facebook group on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and so any challenges you face on any of these platforms, there is a team here of more than 10 persons, and they can answer your questions. And we seek not only to train, but we also want to hear from you all. We like to participate in such a conference, not only because we as Facebook deal with the media, and we deal also with the big news agencies on an almost daily basis, but this forum allows us to deal with journalists who are on the front lines. This is the biggest opportunity for us to learn, to hear, and even to find out about our errors and to improve. We hope that you will all interact with us and give us any observations you have in order for us to progress and develop. A second initiative, Facebook has entered into a company with INSI, which is the International Institute for the Safety of Journalists, with the participation of over 40 media institutions, to put in place mechanisms that are applicable to support the safety of journalists at work. This is a first step out of a number of steps that we are taking. And we hope we will hear from you about the challenges that you face and the reasonable proposals you have that we could use to contribute to the safety of journalists. You are the basis of this platform. Without your support and your presence, Facebook would never remain and would not have the impact it does have. So we thank you. And we hope that you will consider us as a microphone for you, a platform for you to broadcast from, and we hope we shall be hearing from you. Thank you. We thank Facebook for its support for the ARIJ Forum in 2019, and we hope you will find a solution, because this electronic flies and the trolls have really tired us out. Now we move on to the next session under the title of Media Narratives and Internet Trolling and Digital Protection in a Changing Arab World, with our creative colleague Rasha Qandil. Rasha is one of the bright faces in the electronic media and the media. She is the Arabic version of Hard Talk, which was run by Tim Sebastian, and who was a colleague with us for many years. We welcome you, Rasha. Before moving to the main session, we would like to support our main supporters, the Swedish Development Cooperation Program, SIDA, International Media Support Program, our partner since 2006, the DAP, the Danish Partnership Program, the Open Society Foundation, the Norwegian Foreign Ministry, and we also welcome Her Excellency, the Norwegian Ambassador, the Foreign Ministry of Holland, and the Friedrich Naumann Stiftung. We also welcome the Swedish and the British and the Italian ambassador.